Hi, are you an artist looking for another outlet for your work? Well, I'm Jennifer, the traveling publisher, and I'm here with my friend, artist, and author, Lynn Post, who did just that. Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you for letting me be here.
Thank you. We are here in beautiful Nazareth, Pennsylvania, where it's like 59 degrees on December 29th. And so Lynn has published this awesome book called Love Is, and we're going to talk about how she brought this book to life. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you.
First, I'd love if you could share with me a little bit about how did you create the beautiful art for this book?
Okay, this book here, it's going to kind of go into the inspiration too. I had my 6th grade students, before I retired, write on a postcard what their definition of love was, which was amazing, some of the things that they wrote. And so I took each one of those, and I had to choose, of course, a few. I couldn't pick them all. And so I chose, for instance, love is this one here. You can hold it up. Love is the appreciation I feel for my teacher, the love she has for me. She's the best. She is strict when she must be, and she's a lot of fun too. So what I did was I took canvas panels and I sketched out the drawing and then did it with acrylics. And so all of my drawings, all my paintings are on canvas boards. And then this actually was the cover drawing. And that's how I went through and did them all. And then after I painted quite a few of them, that's when I went back and I actually picked out which ones I was going to have published in the book.
Oh, phenomenal. And how did you choose? Because all of the art is just absolutely gorgeous, Lynn. How did you choose which piece to highlight for the cover?
I thought this one said everything. Love is, it was very simple. And it's one of the ones in there about helping mom in the garden and be able to watch things grow. So this one I felt was the most inspirational.
I agree. And it's gorgeous, and I think it's the most universally appealing. Like, everyone can look at this and be drawn to it.
Correct.
And so I love that. And I love that the inspiration was your students, Lynn.
Yes.
So you said 52 students?
52, and I only picked, I don't know how many were, 12 in here?
Probably 12.
Yeah, and I had some things. There was a little girl, her mom had been in Afghanistan, and so her definition of love was the day her mom came home. And it's just, it was very touching. And walking in the woods with my grandfather and listening to him talk about when he was a little boy, all those different things, it just really touched me that kids would write that.
It's just gorgeous. And I think it's so special that these lines were actually written by children.
Yes.
Because when you realize that, you really puts a different perspective on it.
Yes.
It's just amazing. And what a lovely tribute to your students.
Right.
That's awesome, Lynn. And so Lynn's book, of course, is available on Amazon. We'll put the link in the description, as is her other book, which is called Be Careful What You Wish For.
Correct.
And so, Lynn, can you share a little bit? Oh, let's talk about this. On the back cover, you have this awesome photo. Why did you choose that photo?
Well, actually, I wanted to have a photo of me with my artwork that I was working on. However, I had already sent it to Jennifer. So I was in South Carolina and all my paintings were up here. And so she says, I need a photo of you. I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So in the meantime, I was in my studio, and that was a commission painting I was doing for someone. So I just took it with that picture, that painting.
And you did something so skillfully, Lynn, that I really like when authors do, is you have one photo of yourself that's kind of whimsical. It shows your personality. And then inside the book, you have more of a traditional headshot.
Yes.
And I think that that's really neat, because I think that when readers read a book, especially a very personal book like this, they want to know you.
Yes.
They want to know you, the author. And so it's so lovely that you included that about yourself. And so you mentioned something so interesting, and that is that we were actually working long distance on this book.
Yes, we were.
And so when we first met, you were local, and I know you said that was actually something that you liked about me.
Yes.
And then you went and moved.
We did. We had a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of phone calls and a lot of text messages, but I was actually working with my one friend who was actually editing a lot of my copy too. And so till it finally got to Jennifer and her editor, it really didn't need much revising.
It really didn't.
Because as teachers, we had gone over everything. And it was really neat because she could see things that I couldn't see, especially even writing my first book. Do you mind if I mention it?
No, so be careful what you wish
My
for.
friend who was helping me go through everything said to me, do you know why that book was so easy for you to write? And I said, no, because I would jump up at 2 or 3 in the morning and run over to the computer to add things or delete things. And she said, it was easy for you to write it because it's you. You were Sardinia. You were the kid that was made fun of. You were the kid that had to develop the confidence in yourself. And she says, even in the book, the teacher is you. That's how you taught in your classroom. So she said, that's why it was so easy for you to put the words down on the paper, because you lived it.
I love that. Thank
So
you.
I never realized it until she said it. And I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, it is a lot about me.
It really is. It really, and I think it's neat because, like you say, you're actually both of the main characters in that book. And I think something that a lot of authors don't realize that you just said that's so wise is when the time is right, it is just going to pour out of you.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what I saw in you. And you know, had you tried to write that book maybe 15 years ago, it wouldn't have come, or 20 years ago, it wouldn't have come. But at that time, it was the right time. And so I always urge people, don't force it.
No, I think the hardest thing is getting started. Sitting down and just getting started. I did numerous takes on it and threw them away and deleted them off the computer, and I just kept going, and then I'd go back and I'd tweak it again, and then it finally started to flow. And once it starts to flow, it goes, and you're going to surprise yourself how easy it is, especially when you have help and you can call Jennifer, her editors, your friends. Just don't wait. Do it, because you just never know.
Thank you for sharing that. And I love that. Would you say that they've had some benefits to publishing a book like that you have experienced?
Sure. First of all, it hit my bucket list because I always wanted to publish a book, and now I have 2 under my belt. It's really nice because I did do a lot of book signings where at the library down south and up here at our library in Nazareth, I did book signings for people. You get to meet a lot of different people. Now I'm getting text messages and emails from a lot of my former students who bought my books and know that they were about them. And they're calling me and saying, oh, Mrs. Post, I just read this to my son, which really makes me feel old, but it's just amazing because I'm getting a lot of feedback on the books and what the books have meant to those students.
That's awesome. And can you share, Lynn, because how did you reach out to those students? How are they finding out about your book? Is it Facebook or are you contacting?
Okay. The way they found out, I kept all of my students' email addresses when I retired. And when they told me, Mrs. Post, when you publish your book, we want to know about it. So I reached out to all my students. Some of the emails were already defunct. They weren't, but I found out parents' phone numbers or where they had their addresses, and I sent out notices. So I was getting a lot of phone calls and text messages from my former students. Where can we get these? And so whenever I was up in Nazareth in Pennsylvania, I would let them know, hey, I'm going to be here. If you want to come so I can sign your books or whatever, come over there. And then a lot of them called me without going through Amazon. They just called me because they wanted them signed. And I sent them up from South Carolina to their addresses.
Oh, that is so lovely. That is so beautiful. It just must be so heartwarming to know how your book is being received and impacting their lives. And it just makes me so happy to think of families reading this book, because I think it's something very special too. At the end, you did something really, really cool. I wonder if you want to share a little bit about it.
In the very back, I have below about the author, I wrote down that throughout the book, we've shared the different meanings of love. The dictionary definition of love, a noun, is an intense feeling of deep affection, and the other definition, a great interest and pleasure in something. The verb means to feel deep affection for someone or to like or enjoy something very much. So at the very end, I have down, what is your definition of love? And then there are empty lines. So you can write down what your definition of love was.
I love that, Lynn. And you can tell that you are a teacher all the time and forever because you're just continuing to inspire and to help parents to teach their children. Because I know, had I been reading this to my boys when they were little, I would have loved to get to the end of this beautiful book.
Correct.
And have that conversation. Well, what do you think love means? And this is what love means to
I
me.
was really amazed at some of the things that the kids wrote. It just, sleeping in my grandmother's down-filled comforter. I mean, as a kid, that would have been something I would have said. But it was really inspiring for me to see what my sixth graders would write down what their definition of love was. Some, of course, some don't take seriously. They don't take it seriously, but a lot of them did. So it was really, really difficult for me to choose only 12.
I can imagine. Did you ever think about doing a follow-up, the sequel, with another 12?
No, but I have another book on the back
Another
burner.
book on the back burner. That's phenomenal. And guess what, friends? It is now top tip time. And Lynn is going to actually share her top travel tip.
Okay. One of the things that I learned going from PA to South Carolina and South Carolina back to PA, or whenever we go bass fishing all over the place from Canada down to Florida, is whenever you stop at a gas station, you usually go in and use the bathrooms. Well, you wash your hands there, but on the way out, you're pushing the door open. So a lot of people are hitting that with their hands. And then you're doing the gas pumps. That is the biggest germ passer for people. Please use hand sanitizer when you get finished pumping your gas. Or take garbage bag, plastic bags like the Walmart bags. I put that over my hand, I pump the gas, and I turn it inside out and throw it away.
Jeez.
Without having to use the hand sanitizer.
What a good idea, Lynn. Thank you so much.
You're
Especially
welcome.
as we are going into major cold and flu season.
Yes.
So Lynn,
Yes.
thank you for the wonderful
You're
tips that we're
welcome.
joining. Friends, thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe for more. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's okay, one.